This is the ninth recording for ASMR Sleep Station. This one is going to be a little noisier. Think of it more like a field recording. There's some bells or chimes in the background and quite a lot of birds. They're not gulls or really squawky, but they're chirpy. And it'll be a little shorter too, because I didn't have much time to put aside for this, but I'm still shooting for about one recording per week, and hopefully that keeps people happy. Yeah, I have no idea how loud that's gonna be, but there's some wind chimes or something here. I'm in a weird spot. Anyways, it should still be relaxing. I'll catch up with the reviews. Right now, the distribution for ratings in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 stars is 10, 6, 2, 1, and 1, respectively. So, very, very good ratings. I couldn't be more pleased about that. I appreciate anybody who's leaving feedback or ratings. And what I skipped over last time was a couple of reviews. I think I skipped over, let's see, the last one was from Astronomer. They left a review. Your voice is soothing. Please keep them coming and more frequently. That's hopefully something I can live up to. I'm working on it. Although I'm running out of places to go that are quiet. I really hope this isn't too distracting. I mean, it's just unbelievable how many noisy things there are in all directions everywhere you go. Anyways, so very, very cool review. The next one is from Globy Tuberson. That's an interesting name. Great to sleep to. The review reads, really been having success falling asleep to this podcast. I do not get ASMR, but love this just the same. I've tried other sleep podcasts and they don't compare to this. My only criticism is that recent episodes have been significantly quieter and are too low, even at max volume, for me to be able to use. So I will definitely make them louder. It's difficult for me to tell what doesn't work on what types of players. For me, I just try to make the volume levels about half as loud as regular music or audio shows, and that's still acceptable on all the players that I use, but I'll try to increase it so it's a normal volume recording, and hopefully that works. I'll stop trying to make it so quiet. The next review is Hey, You're Doing Great by Emmy Butler. I use your YouTube channel, The Whispering Guy. That's in quotes. Love your YouTube channel. As the podcast is going, I love your podcast. They help me fall asleep in 10 minutes. And then there's 2 exclamation marks. Why don't you do tapping or things like that? But I love you. I think that means your videos. I'm not the whispering guy. Sorry to disappoint you. I do have a YouTube channel, but it's just the same recordings as these, so I don't have anything special. And I'm definitely not the whispering guy, although I probably sound similar, since a lot of people sound the same when they whisper, so it's understandable how I could be confused with that person. And the last one, I don't know if I read it last time. If I did, I apologize for the next one. I don't know if I read it last time, but I apologize if I already read this. It's from the very end of December. It's from Olivia Wong, 94. It's titled Great Podcast, and it reads, the selection for ASMR podcasts is low, but the talent is certainly not. I love this podcast and look forward to more content in the future. I had grown ASMR immunity for a while, and something about the cookie cutter ASMR female videos wasn't doing anything for me. But listening to these has brought on the first tingles I've had in almost a month. His voice is definitely ASMR worthy, and his rambles put you right to sleep without the unnecessary media that you'd find in an ASMR video, which can be overstimulating at times. Highly recommend this dude to any tingle maniac or insomnia-stricken listener. That's definitely one of the nicer reviews I've had, and that would totally make sense because this listener has the same views as me, so I appreciate that, and I also appreciate somebody who feels the same way that I do, that there is just way too much, I don't know, overproduced YouTube ASMR videos. Sometimes it seems a little crazy, but it must be working because there's many videos out there with at least hundreds of thousands of views, some of them in the millions, so somebody's liking them, somebody's listening to them, and they must be working. That's it for the reviews and ratings. Which I'm still, even though this is an ongoing thing, I'm still extremely excited about all the people that are taking time to leave reviews and give feedback to help make this a better show. If you're new to this show, which I'm guessing based on the number of downloads that a I can't tell if it's every week or every time I put out a show. It does seem like if you are searching for ASMR in the iTunes store or in a podcast app, at least, this show will pop up, and you might subscribe to it. So I'm pretty sure that's the way people are finding it. Over time, I will add other. I have to pause it. It's just gonna get loud. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a shorter recording. I'm running out of time here. However, I will pick up where I left off last time. Right now, I'll start on section 3 of the article, Are You Living in a Computer Simulation by Nick Bostrom. Section 3 is titled The Technological Limits of Computation. At our current stage of technological development, we have neither sufficiently powerful hardware nor the requisite software to create conscious minds in computers. But persuasive arguments have been given to the effect that if technological progress continues unabated, then these shortcomings will eventually be overcome. Some authors argue that this stage may be only a few decades away, yet present purposes require no assumptions about the timescale. The simulation argument works equally well for those who think it will take hundreds of thousands of years to reach a post-human stage of civilization, where humankind has acquired most of the technological capabilities that one can currently show to be consistent with physical laws and with material and energy constraints. Such a mature stage of technological development will make it possible to convert planets and other astronomical resources into enormously powerful computers. It is currently hard to be confident in any upper bound on the computing power that may be available to post-human civilizations, as we are still lacking a theory of everything. We cannot rule out the possibility that novel physical phenomena not allowed for in current physical theories may be utilized to transcend those constraints that in our current understanding impose theoretical limits on the information processing attainable in a given lump of matter. We can with much greater confidence establish lower bounds on post-human computation by assuming only mechanisms that are already understood. For example, Eric Drexler has outlined a design for a system the size of a sugar cube, excluding cooling and power supply, that would perform 10 to the 21 instructions per second. Another author gives a rough estimate of 10 to the 42 operations per second for a computer with a mass on the order of a large planet. If we could create quantum computers or learn to build computers out of nuclear matter or plasma, we could push closer to the theoretical limits. Seth Lloyd calculates an upper bound for 1 kilogram computer of 5 times 10 to the 50th logical operations per second, carried out on about approximately 10 to the 31 bits. However, it suffices for our purposes to use the more conservative estimate that presupposes only current known design principles. The amount of computing power needed to emulate a human mind can likewise be roughly estimated. One estimate, based on how computationally expensive it is to replicate the functionality of a piece of nervous tissue that we have already understood and whose functionality has been replicated in silico, contrast enhancement in the retina, yields a figure of approximately 10 to the 14th operations per second for the entire human brain. An alternate estimate, based on the number of synapses in the brain and their firing frequency, gives a figure of 10 to the 16th to 10 to the 17th operations per second. Conceivably, even more could be required if we want to simulate in detail the internal workings of synapses and dendritic trees. However, it is likely the human central nervous system has a high degree of redundancy on the micro scale to compensate for the unreliability and noisiness of its neuronal components. One would therefore expect a substantial efficiency gain when using more reliable and versatile non-biological processors. Wow, those chimes are really going nuts right now. Just a quick interjection. If you notice things that bother you, or like people have been saying in the reviews, if it's too quiet or too loud, I have an email set up at the name of the show at gmail.com. So it's asmrsleepstation@gmail.com. And you can email that address with anything you want. I haven't received any email yet, but I'm open to any feedback or ideas that you have, suggestions, complaints, anything you want. So feel free. I'll continue on, and there's just a few more paragraphs, and that will be it for now because I'm seriously running short on time. Sorry for my poor planning and lack of time right now, but this is the best that I can do. So next week, hopefully, I'll get a lengthier recording in at an earlier time. Okay, so continuing on with section 3. This is about the technological requirements for a human simulation. Memory seems to be no more stringent constraint than processing power. However, since the maximum human sensory bandwidth is about 10 to the 8th bits per second, simulating all sensory events incurs a negligible cost compared to the simulating the cortical activity. We can therefore use the processing power required to simulate the central nervous system and an estimate of the total computational cost of simulating a human mind. If the environment is included in the simulation, this will require additional computing power. How much depends on the scope and granularity of the simulation. Simulating the entire universe down to the quantum level is obviously infeasible unless radically new physics is discovered. But in order to get a realistic simulation of human experience, much less is needed. Only whatever is required to ensure that the simulated humans interacting in normal human ways with their simulated environment don't notice any irregularities. The highly compressed representations for similitude need extend to the narrow band of properties that we can observe from our planet or solar system spacecraft. On the surface of Earth, macroscopic objects in inhabited areas may need to be continuously simulated, but microscopic phenomena could likely be filed in ad hoc. What you see through an electron microscope needs to look unsuspicious, but you usually have no way of confirming its coherence with unobserved parts of the microscopic world. Exceptions arise when we deliberately design systems to harness unobserved microscopic phenomena that operate in accordance with known principles to get results that we are able to independently verify. The paradigmatic case of this is a computer. The simulation may therefore need to include a continuous representation of computers down to the level of individual logic elements. This presents no problem since our current computing power is negligible by post-human standards. I'm going to stop there. It's a little bit early, but hopefully you've relaxed and rested by now. It's just getting louder and louder, and I still need to find a better place to record, but I will hopefully whisper at you in a week. And if you're trying to fall asleep, hopefully you're already asleep now. Thanks for everything. I appreciate it.